Hey guys, welcome to my channel Stock My Closet. For today's project, I have taken 2.5 meter kalamkari fabric and 1.5 meter south cotton fabric. This is the measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Firstly, I'll cut the skirt, and for that I have folded the fabric by half in length. So here I have 2 layers of fabric. Total length is 44 inch. Now I'm making half circle skirt, and for that I need radius, which will be waist round plus ease divided by 3.14. 3.14 remains constant for all sizes. So in my measurement, waist round is 26 inch. I'm adding 2 inch of ease. 26 plus 2 is 28, and dividing it by 3.14 I'll get approximately 9 inch. So for my measurement, radius is 9 inch. From the top corner, I'll mark a point at 9 inch. Keep the measuring tape on the top and mark the same point till the other end. So this is a waist round. I'm adding 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Now from this point, I'll mark the skirt length, which is 33 inch in my measurement. I'm adding 1 inch for seam allowance, so I'll mark a point at 34 inch. Now measure the same length from the top corner. This is 43 inch. Now keep the measuring tape on the top and mark the same point till the other end. So marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. I'm adding lining to the skirt, and for that I have taken 2 meter simple cotton lining, and I'm cutting lining in umbrella style. And for that I have folded the fabric by half in length. So here I have 2 layers of fabric. Now hold one corner of lining and join it to the opposite end, and you will get this kind of shape. Now on the top corner I'll mark the waist, which will be waist round plus ease divided by 4. In my measurement, waist round is 26 inch. I'm adding 2 inch of ease, same ease as I added for the skirt. So 26 plus 2 is 28, and dividing it by 4 I'll get 7 inch. So I'll just mark a point where I'll get 7. Now measure this point from the top corner. This is around 7.5 inch. Keep the measuring tape on the top and mark the same point till the other end. Now from this point I'll mark the length, that is 31 inch, including 1 inch for seam allowance. Now measure the same from the top corner. This is 38 inch. Keep the measuring tape on the top and mark the same point till the other end. So marking is complete. Now I'll cut it. So I've cut both skirt and lining. Now I'll stitch it, and for that firstly I'll finish the bottom round of both skirt and lining. To finish bottom round, just double fold the seam allowance like this and make a stitch on the inner edge. Similarly, I'll finish the lining bottom round. Now I'll stitch side seams on both skirt and lining. So both skirt and lining is ready. Now take wrong side of lining and insert it into the skirt like this. Join both skirt and lining side seams and pin it up. Similarly, I'll pin up all around the waist so that lining and skirt stay in place. Now I'll make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now I'll attach the belt. I have cut belt in two pieces. Belt length is equal to the skirt waist measurement. Make small cuts all around the skirt waist as it makes easy to attach round shape of skirt waist with the straight belt. And width is 3.5 inch. I'll be adding 1 inch wide elastic. I have pinned up the belt with the skirt, and on this corner I have folded and ironed the seam allowance. Now I'll join and stitch both ends of the belt. So I made a stitch and I have trimmed the excess fabric. Now I'll make a stitch on the waist. So I made a stitch and I have folded the belt by half in width. Now I'll make a stitch to secure it. While stitching, leave around 1 inch of space to insert the elastic. So I made a stitch. Now I'll insert the elastic. I've taken elastic 1 inch less than the waist round measurement. And to insert elastic, I'll be using safety pin. So I've inserted the elastic. Now take both end points of elastic and overlap them like this and make back and forth stitch to secure it. Now stretch the elastic like this and stitch the space left open for the elastic. So with this, skirt is ready. Now I'll cut and stitch the top. For top, I have cut out two lengths from the fabric. In my measurement, top length is 21 inch. I've taken round 1.5 inch for seam allowance. So I have two lengths, one for front and one for back, and I folded the fabric by half in width. So I have 4 layers of fabric. Now I'll mark the measurements. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 13.5 inch. Half of it will be 6.75 inch. Neck width is 3 inch. Mark half inch downwards for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. From this point, mark half of armhole round, that is 7 inch in my measurement. I'm deducting half inch as this is sleeveless top. Mark 1 inch inwards for front armhole curve and join it to the shoulder slope point. From the shoulder, mark a point at 10.5 inch shoulder to bust measurement, 14 inch shoulder to waist measurement and 21 inch shoulder to hip measurement. Now I'll mark round measurements. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, chest round is 30 inch. 30 plus 2 is 32 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8. For bust, again I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, bust round is 32 inch. 32 plus 2 is 34 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.5 inch. For waist, I'm adding 5 inch of ease. In my measurement, waist round is 26 inch. 26 plus 5 is 31 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 7.75 inch. For hip, I'm adding 4 inch of ease. In my measurement, hip round is 36 inch. 36 plus 4 is 40 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 10. Join these points and draw front and back armhole curves. Now measure waist to bottom and mark the same point on the opposite side and join it with the slight curve to the bottom, adding 1 inch for seam allowance. So with this marking is complete, now I'll cut it. I'll be adding printed fabric detailing on the neckline and armholes. For that, I'll cut 1.25 inch wide neckline shape and armhole shape on the paper foam. So here I have taken piece of paper foam and I have marked neck width 3 inch, neck depth 7 inch and I'll draw neckline shape. Now I'm adding margin of 1.25 inch and now I'll cut the neckline shape. So this is a neckline. Now for armholes, I have joined both shoulder slopes like this. Join the end point. I have taken the paper foam according to the required length and I have folded it by half in width. Now place it under the front and back bodies like this. Trace the armhole shape. Now I'm adding 1.25 inch for margin. I've taken 1.25 inch width. You can take it as per your choice. And now I'll cut it. So I've cut both neckline and armhole shapes. Now I'll paste it on the printed fabric. So I've ironed it on the fabric. Now I'll cut all pieces leaving 1/4 inch of seam allowance on all sides. Similarly, I'll cut other pieces. Now I'll finish the neckline. I have folded and ironed the outer seam allowance. Now place the right side of neckline on the wrong side of the bodies and make a stitch in the neckline shape. So I made a stitch. Now cut the fabric in the neckline shape and turn the facing inside out, and this is how it will look. You can see the finishing. Now I'll make a top stitch on the outer edge to secure it. So I made a stitch, and with this front neckline is ready. Now join front and back right sides together. And stitch shoulder slope on both sides. Similarly, I'll stitch the other side. Now I'll attach facing on the armhole as I did for the neckline. Place right side of facing on the wrong side of the bodice and make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now make small cuts all around the armhole and turn the facing towards the right side. And this is how it looks from both front and back side. You can see the finishing. Now I'll make the top stitch on this side to secure it. Similarly, I'll finish the other armhole. And now I'll finish the bottom round. And for that, just double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge. Now I'll stitch the side fitting seam. Similarly, I'll stitch the other side, and with this my skirt top is ready, and this is how it looks. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do subscribe my channel for more such videos, and I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.